Thank you, Miles. Welcome to RE Sunday, a time to celebrate our children, youth, and everyone who creates this program with their time and their care. I now invite the children who will be leading the chalice lighting today to come up here front next to the pulpit. Come on up. Our children have added some motions to our first church RE chalice lighting words that they want to teach to all of you today. We will do this twice. The first time through, the children will demonstrate with motions and words, and then the second time, we're going to do it all together. The words are in your order of service. Children, are you ready? Let's begin.
Let this chalice celebrate Unitarian Universalism. We are the church of the open mind. We are the church of the helping hands. We are the church of the loving heart. Together we care for our earth and work for friendship and peace in our world.
Are you ready?
Yes.
All right, Riley's going to lead us off. Let's do it one more time. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. We are the church of the open mind. We are the church of the helping hands. We are the church of the loving heart. Together we care for our earth and work for friendship and peace in our world. Maya Richards is going to read our land acknowledgement. Each week in religious education, we take some time to remember the origins of this land and learn something about the Native people. Today, we share one part of our RE ritual with you.
This land was originally populated by many indigenous people who lived and thrived in an interdependent relationship with the land and other beings here long before white colonial settlement. We acknowledge in Milwaukee that we are on traditional Potawatomi, Ho-Chunk, and Menominee homeland along the southwest shores of Michigamme, North America's largest system of freshwater lakes, where the Milwaukee, Menominee, and Kinnickinnic rivers meet and the people of Wisconsin's sovereign Anishinaabe, Ho-Chunk, Menominee, Oneida, and Mohican nations remain present. These indigenous people are still here and are still connected to this land. We acknowledge the Native people of Wisconsin with the intention of grounding us in the truth of our shared history and the goal of healing the harm that has been done and continues.
Thank you, Maya. Please now rise in body and spirit for our opening hymn, Filled with Loving Kindness. Number 1031 in the teal hymnal.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the First Unitarian Society of Milwaukee. My name is Busy Schultz, and I am honored to serve as your worship associate during this really special Sunday morning. We welcome people of all genders, sexualities, ages, races, ethnicities, and histories, and bodies. We welcome your mind, your heart, and your spirit. We welcome all you carry with you today and all your heart longs to set down. We welcome all the people watching online as we live stream this service. Hello, folks online. We especially welcome guests joining us today. If you are a visiting guest, we invite you to fill out a welcome card located in the pew rack in front of you and drop it in the offering plates that will come around in a few minutes. Please join us for a social hour after services across the hall in Leonhout's Common Room. Some accessibility notes: you can find hearing assist devices and large print hymnals and orders of service at the back of the sanctuary, as well as worship activity bags for children and anyone who wants them. There is a fragrance-free area in the front right pews. If you are watching online, you can enable YouTube's closed captioning on your viewing device. A few announcements to share this morning. Our Earth Justice Ministry will co-sponsor the Sierra Club program, an earth-friendly eating tomorrow night at 6:30 here at church. See the order of service for details. Following this service, there will be a potluck at coffee hour. Don't worry if you haven't brought a dish. The magic of potlucks is there's always plenty of food. At noon is our annual meeting in the sanctuary and on Zoom if you've registered. Come and learn about the work of the trustees of the new Forge Our Future Endowment Fund, the financial condition of the church, and significant First Church accomplishments over the year from our ministers and the board. It is also a chance for you to raise issues and ask questions. I welcome you to share in our First Church worship and purpose by inviting you to join me in a unison affirmation of our mission, which is printed in your order of service. We gather to nurture the spirit, engage the mind, and inspire action. Every week, we have an opportunity to practice our values through sharing our resources. Our pledges are at the core of our spiritual practice of generosity. In addition, the church shares half of the non-pledge cash in our offering plate with a community organization, practicing our values of interdependence. Today, we are honored to share the plate with the World Central Kitchen. This is the choice of the children of our religious education program. WCK is the first to the front lines, providing meals in response to humanitarian, climate, and community crises. It was founded with a simple idea to send cooks to feed people in emergency situations. May the practice of giving bring us joy. The offering will now be gratefully received as we sing together seated hymn number 188, Come, Come, Whoever You Are.
now join me? It's the end of the church year, and for many, almost the end of the school year. Our children have been growing up, and I'd like to invite all the children who have been in 5-year-old kindergarten this year to come up to the front so we can celebrate you. You can bring your parents if you like. Lots of kids do. So come on up. I know Milo and Hannah and Asa are coming up. Bennett couldn't be with us today. Is there anyone else who's graduating from kindergarten this year? Anyone else? Come on up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Mariah Groshek, and I am the Early Childhood Coordinator here at First Church. Hi, friends. You are graduating from kindergarten this year, and I'm so proud of you. That's a big deal. In kindergarten, you learned a whole lot of new things and made a bunch of new discoveries. Soon, you'll have summer vacation, and then you'll be moving on to first grade. You'll be growing and learning even more every day. And sometimes, along the way, you might even make a few mistakes. But that's all right. We all make mistakes. Let's ask everyone here, how many of you have ever made a mistake? See, we all make mistakes. Actually, mistakes are very special things because when you make a mistake, you get to learn something new. Then you can try it again with what you just learned, with your new knowledge. Today, your church community would like to give you 2 special gifts. The first one is a giant eraser, so you can erase your mistakes and try again. Reverend Kimberly is holding one up so that everyone can see. So if someone asks you, you can let them know that mistakes are just fine. Mistakes are how we learn and grow.
Another important way to discover the world is through the joy of reading. You might already have a favorite book that you like to read. Raise your hand out here if any of you have a favorite book you like to read. Lots of them do, lots of them do. If you do have a favorite book, on the count of 3, will you call out the name of your favorite book? 1, 2, 3. The Bible. That's a long reading list. Today, your church community would also like to give you a beautiful book written and illustrated by 2 UU ministers called The Everything Seed. It's a story of the very first seed, one that unfolds to become everything in the universe. We are so happy that you are here. That you come to our church and that everyone here, are you excited to see them grow? Thank you for sharing your kindergarten graduation with all of us. You can go on back to your seats.
At the heart of my lifelong connection to First Unitarian Church lies the downstairs, a place that holds memories of Sunday school days gone by, including getting my own big eraser when I graduated from kindergarten. I learned about our faith for the first time in those Sunday school classrooms of my childhood. It looks different today than it used to. Once, accordion doors divided a large room into smaller classrooms, where we gathered to learn about Unitarian Universalism and the teachings of various faith traditions. The downstairs is the physical foundation of our church building. For me, it is also the spiritual foundation of my UU faith. As a child, I loved coming to Sunday school. I was captivated by the principles of our faith, and the stories of UU prophets and trailblazers. But I was also a handful. A loud, curious kid who questioned everything. I couldn't understand why we had to stick to a set curriculum if our church valued a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. And if our principals charged us to use the democratic process within our congregation, well, couldn't we also do that as a class and vote on what we wanted to explore? My questions could get me into trouble with Sunday school teachers who were dedicated volunteers who gave of their time to guide us. And sometimes the flicker of defiance in my heart showed up as misbehavior, or silliness, or pushback on my part. But there were these amazing adults who showed up Sunday after Sunday, and even when I tested their patience, they helped shape me and guide me despite my actions. One of the chalice lightings we used is our covenant, which starts with, "Love is the spirit of this church." I felt that unconditional love from so many of the adults who were my teachers. Carrie George was one of those teachers. She was the kind of teacher who seemed to have an endless well of patience. She seemed to understand that my behaviors were signs of curiosity and came from a child who didn't really understand yet how to challenge convention. She was authentically supportive of our middle school cohort and of me, offering guidance without judgment and helping me try to channel my feelings productively. Carrie was central to my faith foundation, but she also helped me to understand how central adults like her can be in our church community. Through my 17 years of involvement as an adult in our religious education program, spending time with almost all ages from preschool to youth group, I've had the privilege of experiencing a profound journey of faith once again. This time through the lens of our young people. It's been an enriching process, one that has contributed significantly to my own spiritual growth. There have been many moments when I feel like I am undergoing as much, if not more development than they are. In my endeavor to uphold the covenant that love is the spirit of this church, I've sought to embody the spirit of all the Carrie Georges of my childhood, keeping alive the guiding light of unconditional acceptance and compassion. Walking in her footsteps, I strive to be as loving and understanding as she was, to listen without judgment, to offer words of encouragement and support, and to remind our young people that they are valued and cherished just as they are.
I invite Deb Salas to come up for the owl recognition.
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Deb Solis, and I serve as the church's OWL and Youth Program Coordinator. I invite this year's OWL facilitators to come join me up here on the dais, please. So John and, yep. So Our Whole Lives is a program that helps participants make informed and responsible decisions about their sexual health and behavior. It equips participants with accurate, age-appropriate information in 6 subject areas: human development, relationships, personal skills, sexual behavior, sexual health, and society and culture. Grounded in a holistic view of sexuality, Our Whole Lives not only provides facts about anatomy and human development, but also helps participants clarify their values, build interpersonal skills, and understand the spiritual, emotional, and social aspects of sexuality. This year, we offered our grades 7 to 9 OWL program with 13 youth participating. And we are so very proud of these youth, their parents, and our volunteer facilitating team who committed many, many Sundays and some weekends of their lives to make this program happen. Youth participating in the program spend a great deal of time talking about how challenging and stressful this time can be in a young person's life. They shared their greatest learning topics were gender stereotypes, sexual health habits, and healthy relationships. We wanted to say thank you to all these young people with an OWL memento and a certificate to help them remember all that they have learned. Next year, we will be offering the grade 4 through 6 and 10 to 12 OWL programs. So be sure to watch our church communications for our required parent orientations. We would also like to extend a very special thank you to all of our OWL program facilitators, John Fetak, Jeremy Keenan, Katie Mackey Hall, Krista Zarzinski, and Jesse Moffett. Thank you, thank you. This program doesn't just happen because of me, it happens because of them. Katie?
Good morning. I'd like to share a reading by Elizabeth Canfield. What would it be like if we taught young people swimming in the same way we teach them sexuality? If we told them that swimming is a very important adult activity, one they will have to be skilled at when they grow up, but we never talked with them about it. We never showed them the pool. We just allowed them to stand outside the closed door and listen to all that splashing. Occasionally, they may catch a glimpse of a partially clothed person going in and out of the door to the pool. And maybe they'd find a hidden book on the art of swimming. But if they asked us a question about it, they would be greeted with blank or embarrassed looks. Suddenly, when they turned 18, we would fling open the doors to the pool and they would all jump in. Miraculously, some might learn to tread water, but many would drown.
Now would the OWL youth please come up and join us at the front of the sanctuary? Today we're here to recognize your completion of the grades 7th, 8th, and 9th OWL class. This year, you've examined challenging and mature issues.
We've asked you to look within yourselves, to find your own opinions, and to look to the larger community to examine its norms.
We've asked you to take a hard look at our society to gauge its values. Now, as you move forward in life, we are inviting you to consider what you've learned and respond with thoughtfulness and integrity.
Sure, yeah. Would the congregation please join in reading the unison affirmation for our graduates, which you will find printed in your orders of service. We honor your commitment to completing the Our Whole Lives program. May the understandings you have developed this year guide you in the ways of caring, respect, and justice. May you continue to grow in ways that affirm each person's inherent worth and dignity. Congratulations.
In my early days of teaching OWL, there were a few times when I'd experienced that horrifying moment when you're looking for an adult, but then realize you are an adult. So you look for an older adult, someone successfully adulting, an adultier adult. For me, that person was Deb Solis. She was someone who really seemed to have it together. Whether it was making sure we had all of our photocopying handouts for the OWL class, or working with Habitat for Humanity to make sure all of the permission slips and insurance information was organized and submitted, Deb did so much of the unglamorous behind-the-scenes prep work that makes an activity go smoothly, or when missed, causes undue stress on the participants. One story stands out about how Deb would step up, and problem solve. About 8 or 9 years ago, Jackie Ackert and I were with the OWL students for a Friday night lock-in session here at the church. We all were in one of the RE rooms in the basement when suddenly we hear a piercing alarm. Not quite sure what to do because it didn't quite sound like the fire alarm. We all waited upstairs in the foyer, ready to quickly evacuate if it was a fire, or go back into the basement if it was a tornado alarm, or do whatever you're supposed to do if a carbon monoxide detector goes off. I think you're supposed to leave the building if it's in a carbon monoxide detector, but you might want to check that out first. So while we were considering our options, I called Deb, the adultier adult who would know what to do in this situation. She made a few calls and determined that a staff member who had been working late and thinking they were the last one in the building armed the burglar alarm when leaving. Then Deb, without a single gripe or complaint, quickly returned to the church and disarmed the alarm so we could finish our lesson, where we discussed interesting things we learned, like what the First Church's burglar alarm sounds like. We were able to cross that off our bucket list. So, thank you, Deb, for the years of service, for the caring, for the listening, advising, facilitating, and helping some of us realize that we really can nail that whole adulting thing now and then. Thank you.
So heartfelt gratitude, my First Church community. For the past 10 years, love, support, and trust in my ability to practice what I call meaningful and sometimes life-changing youth ministry with such an amazing collaborative staff team here at First Church. I have so many cherished memories of our youth transforming into young adults and making a difference in this complicated world. And many of those young adults I'm still in communication with today through social media. Though you may not see my face at church for a few months, I am going to be returning to this nurturing community next year as a member, ready to carry our church mission forward into the future as we nurture our spirits, engage our minds, and inspire actions. So thank you.
Dear Deb, oh my goodness, friend, what a journey we have been through together. Let me tell you, if you are looking for a companion on a journey of evolution with an unknown destination and a lot of twists and turns, choose someone who is flexible, friendly, and infinitely kind, someone like Deb Salas. I speak from experience. Deb has been much more than our youth and OWL coordinator. She has been our RE cheerleader, communicator, caregiver, and collaborator. I have witnessed her enthusiastically say yes to everything and anything that we have asked her to do for First Church. And let me tell you, there have been a lot of asks over the last few years. I will forever be grateful for your positive presence, which is a rare and wonderful gift. And I am so glad that this is not a goodbye, but just a time to celebrate your contributions to this faith community. We have some gifts for you. These are for you. And these are for you too. And the vase. You don't have to carry them now. Okay. Can we give one last round of applause for that? I now invite anyone who would like to move to music with scarves to come on up to the dance floor. You know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, but you really want to do this, you're welcome to. Right up there.
I am Sharon Depew.
And I'm Rod Depew.
And you might wonder why a 91-year-old man and an 84-year-old woman would choose to spend a Sunday morning with children ages preschool to preteen rather than, say, enjoy brunch at the Pfister Hotel. Well, take it from us, the children are much more fun. How were we seduced by religious education? More than 30 years ago, we volunteered to teach AYS, About Your Sexuality, the predecessor program to OWL, Our Whole Lives. AYS, OWL, are curricula that teach preteens and teens about their sexuality and the sexuality of others, and it was created by the Unitarian Universalist Association. As some of you may know, the AYS curriculum was challenged in court by the Waukesha County District Attorney, and the case went on to the Supreme Court, which decided in the UUA's favor. And our experience in teaching that course was life-changing when it became intensely personal. We were driving to Rockford, Illinois, to chaperone what was then called a conference, or a con, as it was referred to by the teenage attendees. A con was a mixture of informal religious education, sleepover, and fun. By the way, sleep played a very small role in the weekend. One of our AYS students, a 13-year-old, had asked to ride with us, and after a half hour or so of chit-chat, said that they had something they wanted to tell us. They stammered a little and then confided that they believed themselves to be homosexual. Now, it just so happened that at that time I was president of the board of the Milwaukee AIDS Project during the very early days of the HIV epidemic. So Rod and I were familiar with the struggles endured by the then much more closeted LGBTQ community. We knew at that moment in our trip, our young passenger was sharing with us closely held and private feelings, so we proceeded to spend the rest of the trip doing our best to be good listeners. We knew that embedded in this conversation was trust. Theirs in us, that we would not betray their confidence, and ours in them in respecting that they were diving deeply into their own essential nature. We cannot share even now, some 30-plus years later, any specifics of their later life's journey, but suffice it to say that they went on to live an apparently happy and fulfilling life. And we have found that most of the other young people with whom we have worked are curious, insightful, thoughtful, and brave. From them, we have learned as much as the kids did from us, and I would say more. From that experience, we went on to advocate in court as court-appointed special advocates for foster children in the care of the child welfare system. We created a process to vet volunteers for the Boys and Girls Clubs and RE volunteering in the 2 UU churches where we have been members of the congregations. I have also seized several opportunities to be a mystery friend adult who exchanges letters over a number of weeks with a mystery friend child in our religious education program. In the case of my current mystery friend, the correspondence has continued, even though the formal part of the program has ended. Each time I receive a letter from my new friend, I am excited to read about their life. It transports me back to another time and place in my own life.
Why are we drawn to First Church's religious education again and again? UU young people are encouraged by our faith, their parents and other family, and members of their congregations to seek truth, create a value system by which to live their lives, embed service to others, as fundamental to how we will thrive as a society and interact with others compassionately. As we approach the end of our lives, we recognize that what is being taught in RE is the foundation for the kind of world we hope for the future, long after our generation has left its imprint on the world. The children in First Unitarian RE program are our hope for tomorrow, so we nurture them as best we can. Getting up early Sunday morning is the least we can do. If your interest has been pricked by experiences, perhaps you might be willing to rise early one or more Sundays per month to explore for yourself how much fun there is to be had before noon.
Good morning. My name is Adam Zeiger, and I am an RE parent and volunteer. Our little family is sort of both at the beginning and also firmly entrenched in the middle of our RE journey. Cece and Adela are finishing out their second year in RE, and Jessica and I are rounding out our first year of involvement. However, since both our girls are technically tweens, we're also in the middle of their involvement with RE. RE was a major factor in our decision to rejoin First Church after about over a decade away and out of state. Thankfully, and I'm sure my oldest would attest, that we rejoined just in time last year for her to participate in the 4th to 6th grade OWL program. At the RE service last year, after speakers like we just heard, I became motivated myself to become involved. When Reverend Kimberly sent the email out in the fall seeking volunteers, I checked as many boxes as I could that fit my needs given my admittedly small comfort zone. In fact, I checked so many boxes that when the time came to schedule the CRE team initial meeting, I had to find out why I got that email. But after Reverend Kimberly assured me that I had in fact volunteered to participate, and once I learned what it was at the first meeting, I decided to just go ahead and pretend like I meant to do that all along. Through those meetings, I've learned a lot about the RE program, its inner workings, as well as its strengths and areas for improvement. I've also met interesting and dedicated people and certainly strengthened my feeling of belonging and commitment here at First Church. Along with the RE team, I started helping on Sundays this year. The new RE program certainly makes volunteering accessible to non-educators like myself, and volunteers are allowed to base their commitments on their own schedule and availability. Reverend Kimberly develops activities, games, and crafts related to the weekly theme, and the volunteers for the week receive an email outlining those activities as well as what the theme is. RE Circle is a good chance to kind of ease into the kids' space. It involves reciting the RE Covenant, acknowledging the land we occupy, and generally acquainting ourselves with each other as well as the theme. For those parents who might volunteer, whose kids get enough of them outside of church, there are always 2 or 3 options. So just as an example, if your kids might tell you, to only volunteer in UU Play, which features activities or games centered around the weekly theme, while the kids go to UU Makerspace, where they can work on crafts and hang out with their friends and discuss the weekly theme. Such an approach can, if it's a family goal, limit the amount of time that the parent can embarrass their children. Often there is a third option, which is chalice choice, and that features unique and interesting workshops or activities developed by our own members of the community. After our second full year of RE and my first volunteering, the RE program is where our family feels its strongest sense of connection at First Church. Our kids can rattle off the tenets of JETPIG. They start discussions about the native lands on which Wisconsin resides and what that means for the people from whom it was stolen. And most importantly, they have made friends and developed connections in a community that shares our values of acceptance, justice, and love. For me, volunteering has been remarkably less stressful than anticipated, aside from this speech, obviously. Sign Up Genius tells when volunteers are needed. Volunteers can contribute based on their own availability, and the activities are fun and engaging. Through RE, I've met some extraordinary young people and their families, and furthered my own sense of belonging here. I would encourage everyone to think about how they can get involved in RE, as we can all contribute to, and as all of these speakers have attested, we can all gain from the experience. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon and Rod and Adam, for your words and your dedication to our children. Our child dedications feature a set of promises and blessings. We ask you, our congregation, to welcome families into our community, to be with them in times of struggle and joy, and promise to delight in their children's accomplishments, share in their sorrows, encourage them to grow into adulthood. And there is no better way to do that than help in religious education. Parenting is hard, child caregiving is a full-time effort, and we know it takes a village to raise a child, or in this case, a church community. Providing care and taking the time to ensure that children here at First Church experience and grow in a safe and healthy environment. I invite you to join us. We need you to volunteer to make this promise a continued reality. And now I want to recognize all the amazing people who've done this already, who've made RE happen. If you helped in the nursery or the preschool, or you volunteered in the UU Makerspace, or UU Play, or you made sandwiches with us, or you taught OWL, could you please stand up? Do not be shy, be proud, even if it was just once or twice. Look at y'all. Thank you. You may be seated. We have a gift for you, a very special cup with our First Church logo on it. And these are in the common room for you to collect today. May your cup runneth over. Thank you. This year, you might have heard that we had a mascot in RE. This is JETPIG. I'd like you to introduce you to JETPIG. They carry in their backpack all the UU values, but they're always centered around love. JETPIG is an acronym for the values currently being proposed to express our UU faith. This is the language change that we'll be voting on at UU General Assembly next month. Reverend Jennifer spoke eloquently about this in her sermon a few weeks ago. These values have been centered all year long in our church's themes, and today, with the help of Tristan and our children, we'll have a little fun reviewing or learning them together.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. So we are going to learn and sing together the JETPIG song. So it's a call and response. I will sing a phrase at first, like this one. Hey, JETPIG. And you'll sing, hey, JETPIG. Just like that. We'll also go over the letters, JETPIG, and then all of the words that they represent. Justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, generosity, and then the big, big, big word, love. So when I say the letters or words, you'll repeat them back. Listen to me for the notes. Watch Reverend Kimberly to know when to sing. Are you ready? Yes. Let's do this. You gotta say, hey, jet pig. Hey, jet pig. Hey, jet pig. Hey, jet pig. Give me a J for justice. Give me an E for equity. A T for transformation. P for pluralism. And I, give me a G for interdependence and generosity. For interdependence and generosity. Gotta say, hey, jet pig. Hey, jet pig. Hey, jet pig. Hey, jet pig. Give me a J-E-T. A P-I-G. Let me hear justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence and generosity. It's all about love. Gotta say, hey, jet pig. 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 It's about love. Nice job, everyone.
We work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where we all thrive. We covenant to dismantle racism and all forms of systematic oppression. We support the use of inclusive democratic processes to make decisions. Justice means being fair no matter their personality, race, gender. The difference does not matter. Fairness matters.
We declare that every person has the right to flourish with inherent dignity and worthiness. We covenant to use our time, wisdom, attention, and money to build and sustain fully accessible and inclusive communities. Every person deserves to get what they need in the way that they need it. We want people to always be valued for who they are. They're not going to be treated the same way because everyone is different and does not need the same thing. We adapt to the changing world. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to our Unitarian and Universalist heritages. Never complete and never perfect. Transformation is being open to the idea that our world is changing and we are too, and that it's okay that none of us are perfect. It symbolizes healthy change and growth.
We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. Pluralism is about the differences in us and others, and being okay with what we have in common and knowing that the difference makes everything more interesting.
We honor the interdependent web of all existence. We covenant to cherish Earth and all beings by creating and nurturing relationships of care and respect.
With humility and reverence, we acknowledge our place in the great web of life
and we work to repair harm and damaged relationships.
Where love connects to all life.
People think you need to be independent to be strong, but you are stronger when you understand how you are connected to everything.
We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. We covenant to freely, compassionately share our faith, presence, and resources. Our generosity connects us to one another in relationships of interdependence and mutuality. Generosity is when you're willing to give something, to give and share love with someone else. Just share something. It could be anything.
I did not grow up UU, but I am always a bit envious of those who do. What bounty, generous, caring people working for social justice, sharing strong emotional bonds based on a sense of trust, developing spirituality, this rich history, these wooden beams. What a remarkable faith. Look at what we can do when we work together. It matters. It's important. In this ever-changing, unpredictable world, we need a trailblazing path of liberation, empowerment, and love. In Stephen Prothero's book, God is Not One, he states, "What the world's religions share is not so much a finish line as a starting point. And where they began is with this simple observation: something is wrong with the world." When I facilitate our religious education classes on world religions, we discuss this theory, the theory that every religion diagnoses the world with a problem and a solution of what is wrong. We UUs have our own unique understanding of the problem and the solution. Can you guess what Unitarian Universalism understands the world's problems to be? It's separation. Separation from our neighbors, our ancestors, our earth, our shared truths, our sacred wholeness. We have tended to see separation as the problem and connection as the solution. What grabs our attention and breaks our hearts as UUs is seeing how the world separates or disconnects people from their deepest selves, life's gifts, and each other. So here, we try and lean into interdependence. We honor the interdependent web of all existence. We covenant to cherish the earth and all beings by creating and nurturing relationships of care and respect. We acknowledge our place in the great web of life, and we work to repair harm and damaged relationships with humility and reverence. By the way, that's the I in JetPig. Today, Jonas expressed his understanding of interdependence. He put it in his own words, where love connects to all life. And Riley reminded us, people think they need to be independent to be strong, but you are stronger when you understand how you are connected to everything. Children need somewhere to feel safe, somewhere to laugh and love and learn. We all share the power to change things, to discover things. We all need our unique individual power to be recognized and nourished. A church can be both a haven of protection and a place for growth to occur. At our best, all these elements, they come together and we work to create such a possibility, a community where love is centered. When people experience a sense of universal connection, when their sense of spirit calls them to committed and loving action, it helps change the world. What we do here, it matters. That's why love is at the center of our values. Love is at the center of our shared purpose. And today, we celebrated the connections. We honor learning together how to center love. And we witness what we can do when we uphold the promise that love truly is the spirit of this church. May it continue to be so. Blessed be.
Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. I'll take you to the temple tonight. All my days I've been searching to find out what this life is worth. Through the books and Bibles of time, I've made up my mind. I don't condemn, I don't convert. This is a calling, have you heard? Bring all the lovers to the fold, 'cause no one's gonna lose their soul. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Hey, you can take it or leave it, and you don't have to believe it. I don't wanna fight. Hey, let's go fly a kite. There's nothing that we can't cure, and I'll keep you in my arms for sure. So don't let nobody stop us. Free spirits have to soar. With you I share the gift that we now know. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Hey, you can take it or leave it, and you don't have to believe it. Well, I'm done searching now. I found out what this life is worth. Not in the books that I find, but by searching my mind. I don't condemn, I don't convert. This is a calling, have you heard? Bring all the lovers to the fold, 'cause no one's gonna lose their soul. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Hey, you can take it or leave it, and you don't have to believe it. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Love is my religion. Hey, you can take it or leave it, now that you believe.
Child of the universe, you are born from connection. The moment that sparked your life began the blessing. An infinite entanglement defining and liberating, a force that can ultimately center everything. Love holds all, holds you, beloved being. Know your roots trace a journey of relationships, tangled collections of love that shaped you. Though whispers of heartbreaks are tolls, may you know in your bones that love is where grace lives. It does not matter who or how you love, only that you seek, find, and return the sacred gift. Center love. You were born to witness and grow this blessing. Be courageous. Find connections like a rebel-filled heart defining hope. Seek the souls that call you into believing and becoming. Honor joy. Wrestle chaos. Find solace more than grief. Love's legacy is the only real immortality that matters. Find your way, friend, child, parent, ancestor, chosen family, and return its call home. Blessed be.